Okay, so after 1 day of curing, this is the end result. So now we're gonna see what we got. I'll try to separate the mold from the resin. It did stick to the mold, did stick to resin to a degree. I hope it doesn't break when taking off. This is the one I only had to fill halfway because I had some previous batch. I had some resin left, so I wanted to. Okay, so I didn't want to waste it, so I poured as much as I had, and then yesterday I filled the rest of the mold. So anyway, this mold was made with dry type of florist foam, and this is the difference. I will see how this one gets off, but the structure of the dry version is, well, the surface is a bit more rugged, and that makes the silicone penetrates the foam more than in this dry version, in this wet version. And now this is probably why epoxy clinged so hard to the mold, because there is so much details on the surface of the mold. And this, when it comes to, this is the end result. So when it comes to the grip, I would say this is a good thing, but this part here where the bolt goes broke off because there is also a lot of friction between the silicone and the resin, and it didn't come out. We'll see how it goes here. This obviously needs to be sanded, but otherwise this looks pretty good as a whole. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, so the silicone is also, well, I think it's getting off a bit easier than with the dry version, because the surface is much smoother. But if you have in mind that this mold costed under $1, even if you have to make for every pouring a new mold, I think it's a good price. Okay. I'm trying not to break the mold. I hope it survives. I'm slowly working my way through. Okay, I think I'm going to flip it now. Okay. Now the tough part. I'm pulling slowly so it has time to detach. But it doesn't seem to. Oh, okay. Here it is. So that worked out well. Okay, the question is, did I have to use the orange paint? Since the foam that was left over in the mold obviously transferred to the resin, but otherwise there are some okay. So when you're applying the silicone to your positive or in the foam, well, since you are applying it in you know, circles around the foam, well, obviously it does not cover the surface perfectly. So there are some gaps in the silicone here, and these gaps will obviously be filled with the epoxy. And this is also to a degree interesting when it comes to gripping the hold, but these right here are a bit sharp, so this should be sanded off. Okay, this one looks okay. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Okay, so this is the one where the hole for the bolt, when I was applying the silicone, I obviously didn't wait long enough for it to dry, so it broke off. So now okay, so that came out pretty easy. Remember, these are straws from IKEA. Okay, so this is another one I made earlier with the dry version of the florist foam. So this one is going off also a bit harder, but the surface is great. It has more texture, so it should be great when it comes to having a good grip. Okay. Okay. So that's the. This is the one from the made with dry foam, and the texture is actually great. And after sanding this, I think it will be great on the flat surface. Okay, this is the one also filled just halfway, and I think it will be too small to use. Maybe not. I will see after sanding this. Okay, and so the last one. First the straw. Okay, that's going out fairly easy. I like that. So this is also done with the wet foam, wet version for wet fresh flowers. Okay, this is not going off easy. But if you're patient. For example, I was talking about in the last video about the thickness of the sides of the mold, and I think now that I'm taking the mold of the resin, I think this should be a bit thicker, because I'm afraid it's thin. As you can see, I'm afraid I might break it. This is much better. Okay. I'm gonna turn it over. Okay, this is it. So all of these molds survived the pouring and removing, so I think that's a success. These can be used, well, at least one more time, if not more. I will see. And finally, here are the final. I like this one. This one's nice. Here are the final holes. I think this one will be great for my kid. This one also. And these will probably be good for me.